Welcome to the Million Ways to Millions podcast, the series in which we like to dive into the different ways people build wealth today and proving that the American dream is still alive and well. Today, I am with a multifamily real estate investor and broker, Eric Fitzgerald. Thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you so much, Micah. I love what you're saying. I believe 100% in what you're saying too. I got to say, if I could talk to every young person or people of any age that aren't involved in real estate, I just want to shake them and say, "Come on, man! Like, believe me, this is the thing." Um, and I would say that real estate is a terrible, difficult, stressful, awful, unbelievably bad way to make $1 million, but it's the only way I know that works that anyone can do.
Yeah, I think it was the stat is 90% of millionaires make their first million using real estate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a great athlete. My musical skills are horrendous. I don't have any idea that somebody hasn't already thought of for a company. So I'm down to real estate to make to control my financial destiny. That's just the truth I have come to.
Amen.
I'm a hell of a runner. If you put me in a chair and push me.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be an athlete.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah, but love it.
Give the audience a quick rundown of you, your portfolio, and why are we going to tune in today?
Yeah. So I'm Eric Fitzgerald. Grew up in Denver, Colorado. I started as a VP of sales for a software company and a publishing company. Actually, worked with 2 or 3 different companies. Lots of entrepreneurial activity. I learned a lot there. Learned a lot about people, selling. Nice. Managing, just being a good partner and adding value to others, I guess, is the big lesson in general.
Yeah.
If you can think about how am I adding value to someone else, you can make money doing anything, anywhere, with any group.
I love it. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Yes. Yeah. And then can you charge for it?
And then can you charge for it?
There you go. That's right. But so, yeah, I started in the corporate world. I was a very high earner, like very young. I was in sales. So before, I never graduated college. I was high school, started a family early.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to get to work.
Yep.
And so I think one of the things I learned early on was just, how do I find a way to add value? I was plowing money at a very young age, earning way beyond what I should have ever earned at that age. I was plowing 100% of what I could into a 401k or some other retirement mechanism.
Doing the thing that you're supposed to do.
That's what everybody says you do, right? I'm like, I think around 40, I was like, I've been doing a really good job.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on one of these financial calculators and see what this is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started doing some research, and it's like, well, you can live on 65% of what you're used to, and then you have an 80% chance the money will last before you die, and you may or may not have any left for kids or grandkids.
You do like a 4% withdrawal rate if you're conservative, but if you do more than that, there's a chance that you're going to kind of eat into your principal, and then you don't have any left over. Yeah,
and it's like reliant on your house being paid off. And it's reliant on you not traveling a lot. And it's reliant on, it's reduction. And I'm like, I haven't worked this hard.
Yeah.
To live a lesser life as I age.
Yeah.
And so I said, what am I going to do to supercharge this?
Yep.
My grandfather was a big developer in San Francisco. My mother and father were investors. My wife's family is in farming, and they've purchased and rented land, through 3 generations. They've been in real estate, basically.
Yeah. So real estate's kind of been around you.
It's around all of us, yes. And so then I started listening to Bigger Pockets and reading everything I could, and sort of take the lessons that I saw growing up and maybe modernize them. And Bigger Pockets is describing what they've done in ancient Rome.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing new there.
Yeah.
But they put cool modern terms, and they've kind of branded house hacking, and they've branded Burr, and they've branded some of these terms that aren't new, but they branded them, and it's just helpful. Those guys have done a great job and been a big influence.
Yeah.
I will say too, there's nothing that I have done that isn't available for free on Bigger Pockets or or
Yep.
a million other sites right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's no mystery to this.
Yeah. And there's so much where it's, one $14 book
Yes.
or even a $3 audio book or
Yes.
whatever. There's a lot of information just, like there's podcasts and there's books and stuff like that where you don't need to go pay, some sort of guru course if you don't, feel like
Don't
that's
pay
beneficial.
a guru.
Yeah. It's just like there's a lot of this stuff that's pretty simple as long as you have the discipline to act on it.
For sure.
It's, as we say with real estate, it is, simple.
Yeah.
But it's not easy.
Not easy. And not passive at all.
There's no
It's
new concepts
active.
here, but it's not passive. It's not easy, but it is something, a lot of people can do.
And the other thing that's totally fine, but you just have to acknowledge
Yeah.
is that the revenue and the work are very closely related. I have yet to find, and I'm still looking, and if you know of it, tell me, Micah. But I'm still looking for the thing that's really easy and makes a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I'll let you know.
Yeah. There's like, you can do just invest in a REIT.
Yeah.
And be totally hands off, and you're gonna make hands off money.
Yep.
All the way to like an Airbnb that's super active, and you're working 3 or 4 hours a day on that business.
Yes.
But you're making great money.
Yeah.
So I think like it's all, at least from what I can see so far, it's proportional.
Yeah. Expect if you want to make more money, you're going to do more work.
You're going to do more work or risk more money. It's either going to be risk or work or something else.
Yeah. When I first started getting the real estate, my thought process, hey, I'm going to buy a bunch of rentals. I'm going to become full-time real estate investor in a short period of time.
And I'll be sleeping on the beach while this money is rolling in.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that was just the worst mistake I made. And it wasn't until I was like, I'm going to be more and more active in this. I'm going to self-manage my own properties. That's where it's unlocked, where you're making more money. But yeah, you have responsibilities. But at that point, I think what's important to say is that now the money you're making is not tied to the hours that you work.
Correct.
Which is why it is more advantageous to say it's other than a W-2 income.
Yeah. It's also, there's great software products out there for almost every aspect of the real estate business. And I go to coffee meetups. You and I met right up the road at Smoky Road, a coffee meetup one Friday morning. But I remember I've sat at a million meetups where people are like, oh, I just can't see paying $18 a month per unit for software.
Yeah.
And then they're complaining about how they can't scale past 5 units or 6 units.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude, you have to get whether it's a short-term rental tool, a long-term rental tool, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's just great software and it's super cheap compared. There's no way I would have been able to scale to the level we have without having software as part of the package.
But with that is that you are looking at it from this value perspective of what is the most efficient I can be with my time and with my money.
Yeah.
And so like, hey, versus going to hire this out to say hire a property manager, you are doing it yourself and you're giving yourself the suite of tools that maybe some of these property management companies use in order to expand what you're able to do. But again, the idea is that it's not tied to your hours. It is tied to you being a better businessman and continue to innovate.
Yes. Yeah. And I also leverage people and tools and process as much as I possibly can.
Awesome.
Because I want it to be scalable and I want someone else to be able to walk in. Like my job as an entrepreneur is to make myself useless.
Yes, 100%.
Right? Like that is an entrepreneur's job. Yep. And then go find something else to stir up until you can make yourself useless in that.
Find some other portion of it to break and then rebuild it and make it better. Yeah,
yes, but like my goal is to put myself out of a job every day and find someone who's smarter than me, has a better younger back than me, whatever it is. There's lots of opportunities for people to be better than me in my business ventures.
Awesome. All right, so you worked long time W-2.
Yep.
Stash some cash away in your 401k.
Yep.
Realize as a traditional investment portfolio, this was not going to work.
No.
And so from there,
not for me,
not for you. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that have done incredibly well with it.
Yeah.
But at the point that you were at, you're like, hey, this isn't going to work, and I want a little bit more with my life. And so, what was the key strategic decisions you made at that point to start getting into real estate?
Well, I think first was just education, right? Listen to the podcasts, read the books,
very cheap and free out there.
Very cheap. Yeah. And then really just understand my family business, my wife's family business. Yeah. We're both sort of real estate related businesses.
Yeah.
And like, okay, so I actually, this is kind of my, like the learning legacy of my family is that
Yeah.
this is a way you can do it.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think for me personally, like had I not developed some underwriting tools, some, an Excel spreadsheet, you can get them free online all over the place,
Yep.
but like just doing the underwriting
Mm-hmm.
on lots and lots of properties initially.
It's repetition.
Yes. And just understanding the math and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That was critical. I would have never moved forward had I not learned how to underwrite.
So when looking at underwriting, I feel like a lot of people, when they jump into real estate, either single family or multifamily, that's this kind of big hurdle.
Yeah.
What are some of the key, tips that you would have when it came to like when you understood them that kind of increased your ability to underwrite on finding those deals?
Yeah.
Because underwriting, this is just running the math.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what are some of those key things that you're like, okay, this is what's allowed me to find better deals, versus the layman?
I think the other thing is getting involved in the community. There's
Yeah.
a meetup, you and I met at a meetup up
Yeah.
the street.
Yeah.
There's a ton of meetups and groups that get
Mhm.
together
Yep.
and just talk about real estate. And it's a very supportive group of people that want to like share everything and tell everything.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of opportunity for everyone out there.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like I ended up buying a lot of my properties were never on market, and it was through relationships.
Yeah.
So that's been a big learning step and something like that you have to build as an asset, like consciously.
This off market,
Yes, right.
This is very, very secretive off market thing,
Yeah,
but it's just people and
Those are
relationships.
people, and I say I'm
Yeah.
looking for X, and they say, well, I actually have X to sell.
Yeah.
And you work it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think the other key to underwriting for me was, there's multiple ways you make money in real estate.
Yep.
Cash flow is the only one anyone ever talks about.
Yep.
And it's the worst one.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would never buy real estate
Mm-hmm.
if you just analyzed cash flow. So I think the underwriting process to bring in the dynamic of some of the other ways you make money and to get that in black and white on whatever tool you feel comfortable with is critical to moving forward. Because like you said, it's not hard. It's deciding to do it. And like I once built an illegal still. Like I'm just going to admit it.
Oh, okay.
And I'm in my garage and it starts working, and I take a sip of the moonshine I'm now making, and I remember thinking, "There's no way it's this freaking simple." Like I just in 2 weeks made booze, right? And
we pay so much for it now.
Yeah, yeah. Which after doing it, it's a good deal because it's a lot of work and time.
Yes.
But I just remember having this reaction where I'm like, "Huh, this isn't hard."
Yeah.
And I remember having the same reaction almost every building I've bought still to this day.
Yeah.
As I've been buying, we're over 81 units that we own.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you. I'll tell you about some terrible decisions we've made along the way at some point.
Looking forward to it.
But I just remember after every building, like you close and you have this big celebration. You go out to dinner with your family, and then you're laying there in bed and you're like, well, what do I do now? Yeah. Because it just runs and it just goes. I mean, like obviously you got problems to solve and people, people just to take care of, but like it's not hard or mysterious.
No.
And I never would have done it had I not understand all the ways you make money and then underwrite it and really try and codify that in a budget and in black and white.
If after you purchase real estate it is exciting, you're probably doing it wrong. And it turns into a very boring asset.
Yes.
In the best way possible, because that means it's consistent. Yeah. And that's good.
Yeah.
But so you're underwriting these deals, you're taking into account all these ways you build wealth. Because if you're just looking at cash flow when you're calculating your cash on cash,
stupid to buy real estate.
It looks ridiculous. And people do make that mistake when they're looking at it, where they're trying to compare apples to apples to the average S&P 500 return. They're like, oh, well, why would I go do active real estate when I can do this? Yeah. But really, when you're looking at it, if you're counting just the cash flow, but then you add in your loan pay down, you're adding the appreciation over time. So you're adding in what is my net worth doing over time, because this loan's getting paid down and this building is becoming worth more. You throw all that in together, and then you can really see how it's a powerful wealth building tool. Some of these calculators I've seen, they don't account for all of it. They account for maybe cash flow, definitely cash flow, and maybe some loan pay down. But not really all four.
I had a conversation. I've got very close banking relationships. I treat my bankers, and I have multiple bankers on all the different properties, but I treat them as a business partner.
No.
When it's all said and done, like the first year that we buy into a building, they're going to own 75% of it, and I own 25% of it in most cases.
100%.
So if I don't treat them like I treat them as the lead investor.
Yeah.
And I talk to them and I send them unasked for quarterly reporting. I send them financials. I send them a narrative where I describe what's going on in each building.
Yep.
You know, what problems we're having very honestly and openly.
Yep.
What we're doing to address them.
Mm-hmm.
And what that's done is now loan committees at these small banks
Mm-hmm.
know my name.
Yeah.
And when I come asking for money, they want to help me because they know that I take this perspective of I'm caring for your money.
Yes.
And we're business partners.
And that's a big thing too with banks, especially small banks.
Yes.
I think you get a lot of benefits there because people know your name.
It's the owner and the owner's son and the loan guy that are like on the loan committee.
But the bankers, they're running a business, but they are investors.
They're investing in me.
They're investing capital.
Yes.
They're like, am I going to be able to get a good return on this? And
Yes.
it really comes down to trust.
Yes.
Are you going to return their money?
Yes.
Are you going to make payments?
Reliability is what they're looking for.
Yeah. And so knowing that they don't have to chase you for financials. They don't have to chase you to get answers.
Yes.
You're forthcoming with it. You're being a good partner to them.
Yeah.
And therefore they're going to return the favor.
No one has ever asked me for quarterly financials on the buildings.
Awesome.
I provide them of my own free will to try and encourage them, like build confidence.
Yeah.
But where I was going with that is I have a very close relationship and we talk as friends.
Yes.
With some of my bankers. And one time, I think he was a whiskey or two in, he said, you real estate guys are stupid. And I was like, oh, tell me more.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, you guys are putting all this money after like these deals where you're going to get a 7% return. Mm-hmm. And I'm over here financing a guy with a restaurant or a bar, and he's getting a 20% return and blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but you're not looking at the fact that I don't pay taxes.
Yes.
Right? You're not looking at the fact that my tenants, like you're seeing the mortgage and it's your mortgage, but you're not looking at the fact that I'm paying down. At this point now, Micah, I personally am paying down more principal than I earn. So like, it's like saving 100% of a second wage for me is my mortgage pay down. Right.
And I think we like to talk
net worth contribution.
I think we like to talk about like mortgage pay down either for a house or real estate as this kind of forced savings account.
Yeah.
And I think you got to really think of it that way.
Yeah.
If you're paying a fair price for a piece of real estate, that really is almost as good as cash.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is the tax savings. So anyway, he was like, you guys are dumb. And I'm like, well, you're not even looking at he's only looking at cash flow because his job is to proof test.
Yeah.
If I make bad decisions, is there enough safety margin in this building for him to take it away from me and run it and at least get his money back?
Yeah.
Right? Like that's his bar.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's so many other ways to make more money. And I'm like, you're not looking at the fact that like I'm not paying $50,000. Like I'm literally saving $50,000 a year in taxes or more.
And then on top of that, I'll also add, like, I love small businesses, but I'll also add the fact that small businesses typically do not have these 12-month contracts built in. Like a restaurant, for example, make a 20% return on a restaurant. Incredibly risky business, high failure rate. And yet the success rate in real estate is so astronomical, and they're making that 7% return with really how much work.
Right.
Versus that restaurant, you're probably in that every single week.
Well, and the 7% is cash return.
Yeah.
Like there's no calculation in any of these underwriting tools for my tax savings, right? Yeah. But like right now, I have a credit with the IRS that is a 7-figure credit. So I have actually written off so much that I am carrying a credit with the IRS in essence.
So you got a 7-figure credit where you could earn 7 figures and not
pay taxes in the future.
Fantastic.
And so the goal is for me to just basically bank, like I also bought a dumpster business with a partner of mine.
I love that.
And we were talking about the tax strategy this year for that business. And I'm like, let's max it out for the depreciation on all this equipment.
Just lose crap tons of money on paper.
And his reaction was, why? You don't need any more depreciation. I'm like, no, you don't understand. That's a saving. That's like a credit that I can carry into the future.
You're just telling me with the power of real estate and business, the IRS owes you money.
They certainly don't expect me to pay them for a very long time.
Incredible.
Yes. And so what that means is when I retire,
Yeah.
like for instance, I can lose money from a tax standpoint, and I can do Roth conversions. So I can move from an IRA to a Roth conversion, which at my tax rate costs me very little. If I were to like want to get on private health care, that it has, Obamacare functionality has an income
limit,
threshold. I qualify because of my massive tax losses. I qualify for more advantageous healthcare pricing.
It's almost that thing where you don't own anything. Your assets, your holding company, as they own them, and so you're just being. And this isn't secretive. This is these are using the the IRS's guidelines that they've written because they realize people who are using wealth in this way are benefiting society. They're creating wealth. They're growing the GDP. They're growing the real estate of the country, and they're benefiting the people. We're providing housing and providing jobs in some cases. The dumpster business, and so you are benefiting society, and they're encouraging and incentivizing those behaviors because they know it works.
When you're an employee, paying taxes is your duty to society. When you're an investor or a business owner, creating opportunity for others and creating velocity of money in society is your duty.
100%.
And so you're being incented to do that. This is not a tax cheat. This is literally doing what the government is giving you a carrot to do to help your community.
I think when I've been frustrated of not making enough money, asking myself the question of, don't ask what your country can do for you. I want money. Ask what you can do for your country.
Right.
So it's seeing how you can provide value. Money is the applause that your customers give you for doing a good job.
Yes.
And that's the Dave Ramsey quote.
Yes.
But I love it because it's if you try to figure out, hey, how do I make money? Just look around and see what need is there and how can I fulfill that need?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's why I jumped into property management was that hey, this is a skill set I've developed. I'm wanting a more capital. Well, why don't I do this service for people and try to provide a benefit?
Right.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah. And I think there's a lot to be said for just identifying who, like, what am I good at and who can I share it with?
When growing your real estate portfolio, what superpower of yours would you say has resulted in kind of the most growth?
Stupidity.
Fantastic.
No, I have a natural lack of fear, which has been a major problem in my life. Yep. I also have ADD. Like I was a horrible student. I struggled so much to be in the slow pace, sit quietly, keep your hands to yourself, don't talk. Environment was not something I was successful in. Yeah. My teachers thought I had a massive attitude problem because I knew all the content, but I wouldn't do my homework. And I remember just sitting there going, I gotta get this done, and I just couldn't get there. So I think one, just the belief that you should take action, go dive in, do it, don't be afraid, has been one piece. And then the other piece is just the fact that I'm comfortable with loose ends. Like the ADD in school was a very traumatic, honestly, experience for me because schools just didn't understand that at all.
It's not built for it.
Yeah. And, it's built to conform and follow the rules and all the things that I just don't like to do. I can't do them, even if I want to. But real estate has allowed me to have my fingers in lots of things simultaneously. It's allowed me to be entrepreneurial. It's allowed me to take some measured risks that I find very rewarding. So I'd say ADD has become a real estate superpower for me.
So and you kind of touched on a couple things. It's your ability to kind of jump into something without 100% of the information.
Correct.
And on top of that,
we'll solve it on the way.
Yeah, we'll solve it.
I'm confident that I will have someone that can help me fix it.
I've got 50 to 70% of the information I need, and that is enough for me to execute.
Yes.
And I think that is a powerful thing.
And just knowing that no one else has 100% either, and I can look around and see success around me.
And jumping to these different things, and you're focusing on that. You've been in real estate and you've been growing this portfolio and having that focus on it. But having that mentality of getting just enough information to then act on it. Because typically, if you're going to wait that long, you're never going to have 100% of the information, and that's where people get into the analysis paralysis. So you are just having the discipline to pull the trigger.
Yes.
Or maybe the lack of discipline.
Right. Maybe both. I have an urge to keep growing.
Yeah.
I have an urge to keep solving problems for others in a way that solves problems for me. Like that's the other thing is this isn't a totally like, yes, I provide housing for immigrants. I'm super proud of like one of our buildings. We have refugees and immigrants in that building.
Awesome.
And we're providing homes to people that no other landlord, like we've got relationships with some programs in town. We provide the safest, cleanest, nicest homes to that, to that audience in the state, I believe.
Yeah.
But like that took a while to get comfortable with, and so yeah, I think always looking for the new thing and ways to creatively solve problems.
Yeah. I think this kind of gets back into our underwriting conversation is when you're trying to underwrite, you're looking for ways to create value.
Right.
How can I benefit? And also how can I creatively solve problems?
Yes.
So looking at properties, and so sometimes that's tweaking expenses. Sometimes that is, raising rents, doing renovations to raise rents. And sometimes that's, hey, I've noticed in this market, these people can charge for this amenity. And so we're going to add this amenity to, and even at my apartment building, looking at adding a dog run. Yeah. Which is, we have a big lawn.
Right.
And the cost of chain link fence is relatively cheap. And so for under $2,000, we add this great amenity for our tenants.
Yep. I love it. Yeah. We did we bought a 36 unit in a small town very close to Des Moines, but outside of Des Moines, and it was drug dealers and hookers and lack of payment, all over the place.
Did the same thing.
I know where your building is too. I did. But we did a stupid little thing. I added I think it was a $49 or $59 a month water, sewer, trash, common area maintenance fee per adult.
All right.
So do the math on that. 36 units, 1.5 adults per unit on average.
Yeah.
So, talking about $80 a unit.
Yep.
When you total that up, it's $38,000 of cash flow that we created with that stupid little $49 fee.
Now, someone might listen to this and feel like, oh, you're scamming people, whatever.
Right.
But really, you're able to then provide the stability of this nicer building. Like, in order for us to be able to spend money on maintenance and spend money on nicer units, adding amenities, keeping the place clean, so having cleaners come in on a regular basis, having that cash flow is the way that you do that.
For sure.
And so now you're able to, you're not just charging them, but then now you're also providing a nicer building than other people are able to do. Yeah.
I also have a friend and my mom invest in that property. No. So I have a responsibility to generate value to them as well as investors and the community. But yeah, that simple thing added $38,000 in cash flow, which in turn added about 300. Just off the top of my head, about 300,000 in value to the building.
Incredible.
And like the amazing thing on commercial, right down the street, I have a sixplex that I bought for $400,000. We upgraded all the tenants, put 2 Airbnbs in it, and then I refined it a year later for $585,000. So we created $185,000 in a year of value.
When you're refining that, totally awesome tangent here, but you put some Airbnbs in there. Is the bank taking the Airbnb revenue into account?
Because I've captured all the financials so that I can then share this is what this building produced. They don't care what it was when I bought it.
Yeah.
I just share the financials and I say, here's what it is now.
Incredible.
And they give me a loan for it. And so I was able to get all my cash out of that loan, out of that building. I now have $0 in that building, and I've redeployed the cash I put down in that building to other things.
You get another powerhouse with real estate. So you take those tax benefits, but on top of that, with commercial real estate, you're able to operate the business better. It's based on how much money
is the concept of Google, if you want to understand. Yes.
But because you are a better business operator, you are able to increase the value of that business.
Correct.
No.
To the point where a bank will loan you real, actual money.
Yes.
Right. And it's that same feeling as when I ran that still.
Yeah.
Right. Where I'm like, it can't really be this easy. Like I literally just made $185,000 in 1 year, in addition to what I was doing for work.
Yeah.
like basically on a couple weekends and evenings worth of work, I made $185,000 that year.
That's awesome.
And that was, by the way, refinancing money is not a taxable event because you are not actually earning anything new. You are changing its form from equity to cash.
Yes. People, the last presidential election, they had talked about this idea of taxing non-realized gains.
Yes.
That is not a thing, should not be a thing, because when you're taking debt out,
right.
And that would be a form of just transferring wealth. It's not creating the wealth.
On my net worth balance sheet, I'm worth the same amount of money. It's just it was in equity and now it's in cash.
Yep. You are adding a massive liability and adding cash in your bank account. And that is it.
Yes.
And so it is no net difference. It is just a different form. So now you can redeploy it, which is also like, you did the right thing when it came to contributing to 401k, and you had a good amount of capital when you started investing heavily in real estate. But at any point you're going to run out of it, and so now how are we going to be most efficient with it? And so you're able to then at any point, if someone is going to jump in real estate, they can use these same tactics to be efficient with their money. So they put some money in, they do the renovations, they do the value add, they refinance, they take the value out.
And then the key is that there's never a Corvette at the end of the story.
Yes.
Right? I would love to buy a Corvette. I probably won't for a long time. Because when I make that money, I then redeploy it into the next asset.
And you got the itch too at this point.
Totally do.
It's like, man, I want to do
this
the next
tax
thing.
savings game that I'm on is completely addictive. I'll be honest. Like, I'm like, I don't want to ever pay taxes.
And warning, there is some addiction involved into this.
Totally.
Once you start making a lot of money in real estate, you're not going to want to stop.
No.
Definitely.
And you see the formula and how repeatable it is. You're like, I'm just going to keep doing that. And I firmly believe we like math, right?
Math's good.
Math's good. We are in an unsustainable configuration as a country. Like, we are probably at the lowest tax rate we're going to be in our lifetimes, right? Because that's just math. You cannot sustain this trajectory with low taxation. So my job for my family is for me to stack up as much tax savings as I can stack up, so that when the effective tax rate changes, I will have this balance that I can offset. I don't care if the tax rate goes to 80%. If I can shelter the income that the 80% is bounced up against, it doesn't matter to me.
So it's kind of this, risk hedge. This IRS debt you've been accumulating.
Yes,
that's awesome.
I've got an IRS credit.
Sorry.
Yes,
no.
That's right. A debt to them.
Debt to them.
Oh well, all right. A shelter.
Yeah.
So I basically have accumulated depreciation that I have not been able to use in the past.
Well, I think a cool thing you've been talking about too is utilizing Airbnbs in your apartments.
Yes.
And so this has been, I feel like, just hearing your story here, that was a massive wealth building tool in order to redeploy that capital. And so what was your thought process behind that, and what is kind of the strategy in there of how many to convert and not convert and whatnot?
So we have 81 units total. Real quick, a side tangent, and I promise to answer, but I do have a big life lesson that I want to share with people.
Let's go.
Goal setting.
There you go.
You're talking about tactics and strategies.
There you go.
There's always goals and tactics and strategies. And I set the goal of 50 units by 50 years old. Okay. So we now have 81. I'm 54.
Awesome. Congrats.
So we way overran the goal. I remember waking up at 50 years old plus one day and thinking that I am a complete fucking idiot. Excuse my language. But why 50 by 50?
What's the point?
So to argue with my own self, would it be better to have one beachfront Airbnb in Malibu that makes $100,000 a night and is booked all the time? Or 50 crummy units? And our units are the nicest in their categories and their classes. I firmly believe that. We do a nice job. But my point is, set your goals as a real estate investor, especially if you're young. Set your goals to be SMART goals, where you can really have some outcome that's meaningful to your family and you.
when I first got into multifamily, I set stupid goals of like so many, $1,000 or something.
You're just saying that for because you're trying
But
to make me feel better.
I had a specific conversation
Yeah.
with this investor. Her name was Julie Holly. She's a syndicator,
Yeah,
and I had said the goal to her, and she was like, "But why?"
exactly.
And she's like, "It's
Yes.
what?" And the question is, what does these units do for you?
Who cares?
Who cares how many units?
Yes.
The number
matter?
it does not matter.
It's just a flex.
But what does the unit do?
Yes.
So is it, how much cash does it produce? And then
Right.
also, why do you want X number of dollars
Yes.
to produce? Yeah.
Yes. And so I think for me, I don't know if I could have got to where I'm at a different way.
Mhm.
It would have been slower, right? I could have gone for quality over quantity. I think that's the
Yes.
message, right?
Yep.
Quality over quantity.
Yep.
I have a friend up the street, Grant. He and his wife, Megan, are
Mhm.
friends and investors. And they have a mighty but small, like there's Coach, I think that's a Coach Carlson strategy. He might have written a book about it.
Yeah.
But it's basically what's the smallest portfolio you can have
Yes.
to meet your life goals.
Yeah. Awesome.
And so I think that's the counter strategy.
Mhm.
And like maybe somewhere in between is the right thing. I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah. Oh,
set good goals.
I love it. And let's
achieve them.
Let's be tactical about it. Let's make sure that we're doing the why. What are we
Yes.
getting out of this? What sort of lifestyle are we trying to build? Whether it's the income number or
Yeah.
the net worth number, and then why that is the case.
Right.
And for me, that's why I started doing property management. Was that
Yep.
I did want to make more money per unit, and so the best way for me to do that is to self-manage this portfolio. I did have the passive manager,
Yep.
and I was giving him a chunk of change, which as a passive investment, it was okay, but I wanted a full-time income.
Right.
And so what can I do? What benefit can I add?
Yeah.
And it's going to be managing myself.
I love it.
And that, and
Yeah.
I know you self-manage too.
I do.
And so we're kind of on the same
I
page there.
self-manage with lots of software and two
Awesome.
really good partners that
Yeah.
they're part-time. They're about half-time with me, half-time doing other things.
Awesome.
But yeah,
Yeah.
there's only one way to do
Yeah.
property management, and that's my way.
Yeah.
So and that's the power of real estate is I can
I'm
make
that way
that
too. There's these little tweaks you can do,
Yeah.
and being able to watch and keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
And then, the wealth building aspect of it, now you're looking at it as an owner.
Yes.
And that's an important part.
Yes.
So some property managers are they're just clocking in and
Yeah.
clocking out. They're not looking at it
For
as
sure.
an investment.
Well, there's different property management strategies, right? You
100%,
can optimize cash flow.
Yep.
Which comes back to bite you a few years later because the
Yep.
maintenance is not getting done.
Yep.
Or you can be like an asset manager where you're doing the build, like you're improving the building and it's
Mhm.
gorgeous, but
Yeah.
there's no cash flow.
Yeah.
And so like being able to control those aspects of how you're doing it, like you can change the experience for
Mhm.
you as an owner.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important for them to ask that question of, okay, what are we trying to do here?
Yeah.
And so there are, feast and famine. There are
Right.
seasons to it of like, hey, during the winter, we're just going to focus on occupancy, not focus on including or raising
Yes.
rents, because most of our tenants are moving in the summer, and so
Yep.
those are not the best times to try to
Bide your
maximize.
time to get
Bide your time. Get rid of the vacancy.
Yep.
And that
Yeah.
way you're maintaining your cash flow, all that sort of stuff.
For
But,
sure.
fantastic.
Yeah. So your question was
Yes.
short-term versus long-term.
Oh yeah.
So we now own 2 apartment buildings that we've hybridized.
Awesome.
We have 81 long-term units and 10 Airbnbs total.
Awesome.
2 are managed by one company, a third party.
Mhm.
2 are managed by a different company,
Mm-hmm.
where it's sort of like half and half. They
Sure.
kind of do the marketing and the sales, but we do the communication and interaction with the
Okay.
guests. And then we have 6 that we manage all by, like completely alone.
Nice.
Through software, hospitable.
Yep.
Amazing. I like right now this morning I've probably written 25 to 30 emails. I didn't write a single one of them. There's an AI agent that I basically trained when I first brought this software on. It speaks in my tone. It'll say, hey friend, we're so excited to have you in Sherman Hill, like Des Moines, downtown Des Moines, Sherman Hill. You're right by the Gateway Market and my favorite coffee shop, Smoky Row. It talks in that tone, just like
That's
I
awesome.
would.
Powerful.
Well, it's crazy.
Well, and it's you're now untying, even though real estate is work, you're
Yeah.
now untying your hours and your time.
I'm working on the systems and the process so that I don't have to work on the individual activity.
Yeah, so it's not a dollar per hour thing.
Correct.
It's a dollar for value.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, but like literally I've sent 25 emails while we've been sitting here, probably.
What is the name of that software?
It's Hospitable.
Hospitable, got it.
Yeah, there's Hostaway, there's a bunch of great ones.
Yeah.
But it like basically I put the pictures, I do the description. My son Hagen like has been improving those ads and those pictures for me this summer. He's right over there.
There you go.
But like once he does that, then it just like it'll send it to VRBO and Airbnb and Booking.com. So you like you have one portal that we experience, and then it's pushing it out to all the markets.
That's nice, kind of consolidating the software you use.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But like this building, there's a 6-unit right up the street here by Drake University.
Yep.
It's got 2 Airbnbs and 4 long terms.
Yep.
This building is a 14-unit total. It's got 6. It will have 6 Airbnbs. We're converting a long-term tenant that was in a long-term furnished to be an Airbnb. So in 2 weeks, this will be 6 Airbnbs and 8 long-term rentals.
Perfect.
This month, the Airbnbs will make approximately $12,000.
Incredible.
Which is amazing for 1-bedroom.
What is that net?
That is after cleaning fees and after paying. That is my take home will be $12,000 on these currently 5 units.
What is your strategy when it comes to balancing Airbnbs versus long-term rentals?
So Airbnb is super seasonal.
Yeah.
And so in the wintertime, my goal is to just break even to be the same as a long-term rental.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of discounting for longer term stays. And what ends up happening is we get construction workers and traveling nurses and all kinds of folks that stay in for 1, 2, 3 months over the winter.
Awesome.
And it's not that hard if you just sort of acknowledge that my goal is to just break even with a long-term renter. It's not like it would be emotionally hard to come off of making $12,000 on 5 units a month and then go to making $850 net on them.
Well, and it's a great mentality of, okay, so you do the math of how many long-term tenants do I need to pay all my bills?
Right.
Everything's good. And now the Airbnb is gravy on top of it. So you kind of remove the risk from these Airbnbs.
Totally.
Where you can kind of crank it up and pursue, the high room rates or the high occupancy.
Yes.
And you're kind of going nuts.
Well, like the mortgage on this building that we are sitting in right now is like less than $5,000.
Awesome.
So these 5 Airbnbs are going to pay the mortgage for 2 months this month. And then, there's some more utility costs and that kind of stuff that I have to pay for an Airbnb versus having a tenant, but it's not thousands of dollars, it's hundreds of dollars. And so basically the other 8 units become pure profit for my family because the Airbnbs are paying the way. And it's actually the same at the other building. The 2 Airbnbs pretty much pay for the whole building. And then the 4 long-term units just become pure cash flow. So
you kind of teased it a little bit on talking about this dumpster business.
Yeah.
So you're a multifamily guy.
Yeah.
Now you're also a dumpster guy. So
Yeah.
At what point did that come about? Why did that come about? And then why did you decide to?
So I'm also a broker.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I'm a broker for Keller Williams here in Des Moines.
Awesome.
And I'm one of the rare guys at Keller Williams that is allowed to sell residential and commercial.
Okay.
Perfect. So there's sort of a pretty strong push that you choose a path.
And I think I saw online that you were like the #1 Keller Williams broker in the office by volume. Was that?
I hit some nice awards.
There you go.
I'm surrounded by really successful people. But yes, I had some good licks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All while doing all this other crap, right?
That's it.
But so one thing, I'm good friends and business partners with Darson Grantham, who is another very successful agent here in town and big community builder. Good guy, honest, good guy. Yeah, good guy. Love him like a brother. But so Darson and I bought this dumpster company, and one of the things that it came out of was this discussion of the 5 Ds of real estate.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's also, interestingly, the 5 Ds of dumpsters. And those Ds are death, downsize, diapers, diamonds, And what's the last D? Divorce.
Okay. We're just gonna keep going because
Okay.
I have that as backup. So.
Okay, cool. Oh, did we die again on speak and
Oh no, it's the battery's too low.
Oh shit. Okay.
All right, let's get started.
Cool. Okay, so the 5 Ds of real estate
Nice.
are also the same 5 Ds for renting, buying, and dumpsters. So downsizing, death, divorce, diamonds, marriage, diapers, babies,
Yeah.
all create reasons for people to move.
Mm-hmm.
They're also a reason to order a dumpster. And so those businesses work really well together.
Yeah.
We also, we're also managing. My management company is managing over 100 units. So even though we own 81,
Nice.
we're managing for others as well.
Perfect.
But to have dumpsters available to clean out. Some of our biggest clients in our real estate business are all investors.
Mm-hmm.
Anything from multifamily guys like you and I, all the way to flippers.
Yeah.
And flippers need dumpsters.
And so it's a way for you even to kind of network with other people
Absolutely.
in the real estate world.
Yes.
Getting to know more people, providing value, and kind of what you said too of like, well, I went from passive to active.
Yes.
Trying to provide more value. You're not doing the exact same thing. Where okay, I'm doing this much. All right, let's see what something else I can do and tack it on to my existing network.
It was also an accident. Like I was talking about, like we had a big strategy plan. What ended up happening is we had a friend that said, "Hey guys, I need to sell this business. He's Islamic, and he doesn't believe. They don't believe, or his sect does not believe in debt.
Got it. Yeah.
Right. So he's like, I want to start a new business, but I can't take debt because my advice to him was, well,
yeah.
So he's like, can you help me value this business and help me sell it?
Mm-hmm.
And so Darshana and I were like, yeah, we'd love to help you sell it. We came back and gave him some advice on what we think he should pitch it for.
Yeah.
And we gave him, high, medium, low.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I really want to get this new business started, and there's kind of a time crunch for me.
Yeah.
I only have a little bit of time. If I sold it to you guys for the low price, would you buy it from me? And we were like, no, are you crazy? And then like a week later, he said, please, like, I really want to sell this. And we're like, that would be we have inside information worth more than what, we don't feel right about that. And he's like, just do it. So we were like, okay. So we kind of accidentally bought it.
And this was more of a relationship thing too, is that he knew you guys, he liked you guys.
He trusted us. Yeah.
Of course.
And we talked about, like, someday if you want to get back into it, you could buy back, we're kind of, So anyway, it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome.
But,
Has there been kind of any hidden benefits with that? And then maybe comparing that to your real estate, is it kind of even Stevens, or is there a kind of a better return you get from it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my goal is to go full into real, like right now I have 15 listings. Like the crazy thing when you get into real estate, half the licenses in the country don't sell a single property in a year. The average realtor sells 2.6 properties a year.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm going full in to try. I have 15 listings right now. I have everything from multifamily. I've got development land. I've got homes. I've got primary homes. I've got investment homes. I've got flip homes that are probably should be burned down. But we're gonna see if we can flip them.
Yeah.
But like, my goal with the dumpster company is to let it run. We actually just have a driver that's been doing a great job, and we said to him, we're going to give him equity every year. Cool. And I just want him to run the business, and we're going to teach him how to also heavy software packages. We bought a lot of technology to integrate into that dumpster business for scheduling and online presence and like route planning and everything.
Truck tracking. Invoicing.
Everything.
But it's loaded on the software. But you found a great operator who's helping you run the business on a day to day.
And we've got this software that creates a system and a process for everything.
Perfect.
And so, like, can we just like encourage him, help him, support him, throw him into running it, and again make us, if we do not want to be involved in anything long term, right? Because we want freedom to go do the next thing. And so the entrepreneurial mission is to make yourself worthless, and we are trying to make ourselves worthless in multiple business ventures so that we can move on to the next thing.
Sounds like you successfully done
Yeah.
that. Especially with the dumpster business there, and then bring people along with the management as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And it's kind of a similar thing. My property manager has can get equity over time.
awesome.
And my goal is to, like one option for me to make an exit here would be to say to them, you already have X percentage ownership in the building. I'll introduce you to my bankers and get you a loan, and then I'll do a carryback for the rest of the down payment.
Or you can sell the portfolio
And sell
to
the product the property manager ends up becoming the owner.
Yeah.
As part of the process, and that's my exit strategy. One exit strategy.
Potential one.
So
incredible.
Yeah.
Well, dude. So before we get off,
Yeah.
what would be kind of your biggest tip when it comes to someone who's wanting to get into this, wanting to grow a portfolio?
Yeah.
What are some of the key steps they should be taking in order to get started?
The most powerful strategy in all of real estate, in my opinion, the most powerful early strategy,
Yes.
is absolutely house hacking.
Awesome.
Which is not a new concept, but the guys at Bigger Pockets coined that term, and I love it. It's very easy to say, but it's basically the concept of taking the American dream, which is that the government promises to enable you to buy a house to live in, and taking that and leveraging that into investing. So the hacking part is that yes, you live in it for a period of time, but then you keep that advantageous loan and you parlay that into more investing properties. But like everybody should, as soon as they can, buy a home, whether it's a single family or up to a 4. You can get up to a 4 unit with these great loans with 5 or 0% down, which is the hardest part. But like technically, if someone, everything would have to be perfect, and it's a messy road, and all this stuff.
Easier said than done, but it's still
But conceptually, you could buy a 4-plex with an owner-occupied, really good loan with 5% down, and then you could potentially, at 1 year and 1 day, buy another 4-plex and do it again, and then at 1 year and 1 day, buy another 4-plex and do it again, and then at 1 year and 1 day, buy your dream house with the white picket fence, your forever house, which it's not going to be because the average person lives in a house for less than 50 years. Everyone thinks they're buying their forever house when they're shopping, and they aren't. But at the end of 4 years, you would own 12 rental properties and have a cash flow that is like insanely strong.
And then if you do that when you're relatively young,
yes,
you got a 30-year note, you pay that thing off,
yes,
then you're set.
Can you imagine having, like, even at today's rents, $1,000 a unit, in Des Moines? That's like super easy to imagine. You can pull $1,500 a month out of them. But even if you just said right now, $1,000 a month, you're making $12,000 a month on this portfolio. That's $140,000 a year plus. And so as a retiree, you're making $140,000 a year. Like insane. So I would every person should be house hacking or doing some kind of investing.
See these, debt products, these opportunities, being able to take advantage of them. And there's multiple ways you could do it. You could just buy a single family house, rent out some bedrooms, and then
you totally can.
When you move out, you rent out your bedroom. I've seen people do that. And when I got started, I didn't house hack, but I did live in flips.
Right.
So you use those debt products. My wife didn't want to live next to tenants.
Right.
I used those debt products. I bought a house, and then I just fixed it up when I was living there. Year and a half later, I sold it. Same thing with the next one. A year later, I refinanced it, and that's how I got the down payment for my apartment building.
That's the other hack too, like the sell, because you mentioned selling, right? Like as an investor, I can't ever sell anything outright because there's a taxable event. I can, but I don't want to. If you're living in it, then you can sell it tax free up to very generous limits. And you can really make that into a nest egg that you can snowball dramatically.
And I didn't live in that first house for 2 full years, but my CPA was able to prorate the tax savings.
Okay.
So it's like whatever percentage, so 75% of 2 years, you get 75% of those taxes wiped off.
Amazing.
And so I was able to take those gains, roll to the next place, and then I refinanced that house and pulled equity out of it, and then put the down payment on an apartment building. Yeah.
But you were taking risks that,
Uh-huh.
but
And
all
a lot of
very
late nights,
visible. Yeah,
a lot of late
lot of
nights.
stress.
But it's also kind of, it's crazy how simple it can be.
Yes.
You know, doing those fixes. You know,
Mhm.
I took on a little too much renovation,
Right.
but that's not required.
Yeah, yeah.
So do the light things
Yep.
you can do. Put down the LVP, paint
Yep.
new cabinets. Like some of the stuff isn't super hard to
No.
make happen, and increase that value, and then keep rolling into the next
For
one.
sure.
But it's jumping
Absolutely.
into it and getting started.
Absolutely, it's starting.
Yeah.
But house hacking is so powerful.
Love it.
And then on the flip side, as you get more advanced, it's all about the cost appreciation or cost segmentation and accelerated depreciation schedules. It's all tax, and then forced appreciation for multifamily is just an insanely powerful tool.
Yeah, for sure.
Insanely powerful.
Well, and then that's when it's this preservation and also being able to use your assets most efficiently.
Yes.
And when you don't have as many assets, it's not a concern, but then you move into this preservation mode, and then you're getting reporting taxes and all that sort of stuff. And there's plenty of strategies there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But and now that I'm in my later stages of life, I mean, this is great now, man.
Great,
But I actually took that 401k that I had in my corporate days, and I became the administrator of my own 401k trust.
Mm-hmm.
So not just like where I'm picking stocks in the Vanguard system, but I actually have a bank account that is owned by my 401k trust, and I am the administrator of that trust. I can buy real estate. I can buy private debt. I can buy government debt, tax debt.
Yeah.
I can buy stocks and bonds like anybody. I could also buy Bitcoin like any ETF. So Bitcoin, gold, silver. The only thing I can't buy is anything that would make me happy now before I'm 59 and a half.
They can't touch your personal bank account.
They can. Yeah. Yes, I have to be very careful to manage that money separately, and I can't take any joy from it. So I can't buy collectibles like cars, art.
Yep.
You know, you can't go buy a wine or a whiskey collection.
Yeah.
So the IRS has rules about it must be a deferred until at least 59 and a half joy factor.
And this is also very similar to like self-directed IRA, but it's just a 401k product.
It is, yes. It's basically I've rolled my 401k and my Roth into something where I don't have an administrator at Vanguard or somewhere. I am the administrator. The benefit to that is I believe so much in real estate. Mm-hmm. I still have stocks. I still have ETFs. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to be investing more and more of my retirement into these products. So it'll be an amplifier. Like I'm just at a different phase of my life to be able to do that kind of thing. But that I'm excited for that phase and to learn more about how to do that.
Well, thank you, Eric. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, buddy.
I appreciate you sharing your experiences.
Thanks for inviting me, Micah.
Is there anywhere people can reach out to you or connect to you?
Yeah, I'm at Keller Williams here in Des Moines. Eric Fitz at kw.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm not really on. I'm trying to get more on some of the other stuff, but I don't get it.
Well, this is kind of what it does.
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, love. And then I come a lot to the meetups. The meetups on the first Tuesday of every month, Tuesday night.
Yep.
So
awesome.
Do a lot of the real estate meetups and love to help people figure out what their strategy is. And like I said, my favorite new venture is doing the real estate. So that's been a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Cool.
Congrats.
Thanks, Micah.